So I am calling to order the Board of Education meeting. It is Monday, January 10th, 2022. The time is 6:46, and I would like to start off with roll call. Okay, Christina Darling.
Present.
Neil Claffey.
Here.
Sharon Giglio. Good Lord, sorry, Sharon.
I'm here.
Over there. All right, Heather Raymond is here. Regan Lampier.
Here.
Jessica Brown.
Here.
Sandra Ziem.
Here.
Paula Johnson.
Present.
Jen Bishop. Here. We have also Dr. McKinney, Mr. Parker, Mr. Donovan, and Ms. Carey from administration, and Mr. Rogers and Mr. Sahu as our new student board reps. Welcome. Ms. Raymond, would you mind leading us in the prayer and then the pledge of allegiance? Sure. Almighty God, we have the high honor and the serious duty of managing the educational institutions of our beloved city. In our common endeavors, may we find a spirit of unity and understanding which will enable us to face our multiple problems with an objective mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. Amen. Oh, and the pledge. All right. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we start with the meeting, we need to clarify a prior motion that was made. I believe Ms. Raymond has it written up for us. Yes, thank you. We had a lot of discussion over the last 6, 8, 10 months about masking and our protocols for our board meetings and at school, and I just have been consulting with legal and the aldermen about their citywide ordinance, and I think we have the last and final version of our safety motion for our meetings until we get better with the COVID pandemic. Okay, so I move that the Nashua Board of Education encourages attendance at and active participation in its live meetings. However, as the COVID-19 pandemic continues, it's also necessary for the Board of Education to take reasonable precautions to prevent the unnecessary spread of the disease to those in attendance at its live meetings. Accordingly, I hereby move that until further notice, the Board of Education will require that appropriate masks be worn by all those in attendance at the Board of Education's live meetings, including members of the Board of Education, faculty, staff of the Nashua School District, and members of the public. Consistent with its obligations under state and federal law, the Board of Education will also consider, and if appropriate, act upon requests for reasonable accommodation from anyone who sincerely held religious beliefs and or qualified disability prevents them from wearing a mask. Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone against?
Aye.
I'm sorry, are you against, Ms. Brown?
Yes. Nay.
Okay. So 8-1.
Okay, got it.
And I just want to make note that those of us in the horseshoe who do not have a mask on have already presented the necessary documentation, and I appreciate that. If anybody else also needs to present themselves without a mask, You just need to send forward that information to us for us to know so that we're not, and we can make sure that you have reasonable accommodations. Thank you very much. So the next piece
Ms.
of the...
Bishop, could I get a copy of that motion,
Yeah.
please? Thank you.
Do you mind if I email it to you later?
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Ziem, and seconded by Ms. Gilio. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Sorry, that was Ms. Johnson? Johnson. Do we have any items to remove from the consent agenda? No. Any communications outside the consent agenda? No. Okay, this leads us up to our first public question comment period, limited to items on the agenda for a 15-minute time limit. I just want to let you know I did put up the first and second signups. The first sign-up sheet, I put the agenda next to the first sign-up sheet so that you know what you're speaking to on the agenda, just to be more helpful. Thank you, Ms. Gilio. That was fast.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yep, it's hiding. Oh, no, wait a minute, where is it? Does say second. Someone maybe want to help me because I do not see the first one.
I put a lot of paperwork up there to be more helpful.
It's not second,
It's this one.
but there's no one.
No, because there's nothing on the agenda that anyone can speak to, so.
Oh, so no one's speaking right now? Is that
Yep, that's what
correct?
that says, yep.
Oh, okay, then I'll leave this one here for later.
Thank you for that, guys. I was trying to make it easier to navigate up there with the policies. I put the policy up there for public comment, and then how to do if we have questions or comments or concerns in regards to how the administration works. I put that policy up there so that you know the better channel to go through to get your answers met. So hopefully that's more helpful. We have nobody signed up for the first public comment, so we jump right into superintendent's comments.
Good evening. Happy New Year. Certainly want to say welcome to the new board members and the 2 new student representatives. Just want to say welcome, and we look forward to working with you in support of our students and our schools. It's a new year, and we're looking to register our kindergartners as soon as possible. Registration for kindergarten begins Monday on February 7th, and like last year, registration will be online. We encourage parents to register their kindergartner as soon as possible. It's important to know that your child must be 5 years old by September 30th, 2022. If you have any questions, contact the one and only Kathy McIntyre in the school district's Office of Student Services. And speaking of kindergarten, congratulations to Heather Scalera, a kindergarten teacher at Dr. Crisp. Ms. Scalera was named the December 2021 WZID Teacher of the Month. Ms. Scalera was nominated by one of her students' parents with a wonderful note of appreciation that said, Ms. Scalera goes above and beyond every day to make sure my daughter's kindergarten experience is nothing less than amazing. We appreciate the recognition for one of our teachers and the meaningful note that this parent took to nominate Ms. Scalera. Congratulations. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now is the board response to superintendent's comments. We will just go in roll call order. I'll mix it up as we go along so that you're not always in the hot seat.
Okay,
But tonight, for the first
appreciate it.
time, Ms. Christina Darling, one of our new members.
As a parent, I just want to say it always warms my heart when I hear that another parent has nominated a teacher for anything. I think that it shows, it really speaks volumes that we have teachers that are still able to give that 110% even in these trying times. And so thank you so much, Ms. Scalera, for your work.
Thank you. Mr. Claffey, no comment? Ms. Gilio, no comment? Ms. Raymond? I just want to say congratulations to that kindergarten teacher. Especially now, it must be nice to feel recognized. And I know that kindergarten has been challenging, especially this year. So, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I think all of our teachers are doing a fantastic job. But kindergarten seems to, I mean, they're the cutest kids, aren't they? Ms. Lampier, do you have anything? No? Ms. Brown? Ms. Seem?
I didn't get to meet the new members, but welcome. If I can ever help you with anything, please feel free to call on me. We're delighted to have you. And to our new 2 liaisons, nice to have you, and I look forward to getting to know you better, each and every one of you. Thank you for serving.
Yes, Ms. Seem is a wealth of information. She has been on the board several times, has seen lots of things come and go, and knows what works and what doesn't, and we value her on the board. So if you guys have any questions in the future, please reach out to her. Ms. Johnson? No comment. Ms. Johnson also has served on the board before and knows the comings and goings, and if you have any questions, she's also a good resource. That leads us up to the student members of the board. Your comments. Welcome, welcome.
To start off, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for welcoming me on the board, and I'm glad to serve and represent all the student body, and thank you to all the teachers. Yeah.
I also wanted to add, it's a pleasure to be able to serve on the board alongside all of you. And I just want to thank all of the students who've elected me to serve my student body. And I'd just like to thank all of the teachers, especially those who are here tonight. I wouldn't have been able to get it this far without fantastic teachers and staff members from my elementary school, middle school, and high school. So just thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Bishop?
Yes,
Can
Ms.
I
Johnson.
just find out which school they're from? That's what they didn't tell us.
Oh, yes. Do you mind giving us a little synopsis of who you are?
Okay. Well, hello, Ms. Johnson. I'm from, I guess my name's Simone. I'm a junior at Nashua High South. A little bit about me and my upbringings. I guess I started off at my Nashua School District journey at Maine Dunstable, and I went on to Elm Street Middle School. Now I'm at South. A little bit about what I do outside of school. I'm captain of our varsity swim and dive team and a part of our National Honor Society, and I'm also part of our co-president of Nashua South, these Young Democrats Club, and we just like to encourage political engagement across the political spectrum and get people involved in their communities. So that's all. Thank you.
Point of order, Madam President. I want to practice before it gets real serious. Can I ask, could you wear purple at the next meeting instead of North blue?
Sounds like a plan. I'm wearing blue. Tonight I'm wearing blue in support of our union, but but I promise that for the next meeting, I'll have a dash of purple just for you, Mr. Coffey.
Thank you.
My name's Armani Rogers. I'm the student representative from North. I'm a junior, and outside of school and this, I play the double bass, and I run track and cross country, and I'm the class president for 2023.
Thank you, guys. It was very nice to meet you. Our student members in the past, and I'm sure going forward, have always been excellent voices of reason on the board, and you give us a perspective that we often forget as adults about what is most important, and that's your experience with school. So feel free to speak up whenever the time comes that you have something to say, and email us, call us if you have any opinions or you want to make sure that we understand what your point is. Okay? Thank you very much. Next on to, we have several committees. No budget. We didn't have finance and operations, policy, curriculum and evaluation, or human resources. No, we do have human resources.
Yeah, point of order. We have a human resources item.
So we would be, but nobody's in charge of human resources right now.
No, Wonder if Ms. Thiem wants to make the motion, or else I'm happy to make the motion.
I don't
on-
have the date, so you might as well.
Okay. I move to suspend the rules to allow us to consider the personnel recommendations dated January 10th, 2022,
What's the date?
today, the 10th, 2022. So just for point of information for our new members, I'm asking to suspend the rules because our rules require that we have 3 days in between a meeting and this, and we don't have that. So I'm asking that we suspend the rules so that we can consider the personnel recommendations that were in our packet, even though we didn't have an HR meeting.
Are you looking for a second?
Yeah, I am.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilio. On the motion to suspend the rules for the personnel recommendations, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. I would now be looking for a motion to accept the personnel recommendations dated January 10th, 2022.
I make a motion that we accept the personnel recommendations dated January 10, 2022.
Second.
Thank you. That was motion by Ms. Thiem and seconded by Ms. Gilio. All those in favor to accept the personnel recommendations, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Okay. I think we just did that one, right? The protocols.
Yeah, my
Yep.
thing says district goals in here, but it says protocols on there.
And then we already did the personnel recommendations from new business under human resources. So this brings us up to our second public comment period.
Madam
come-
President,
Yes, Mr. Claffey?
I'd like to make a motion under new business.
Okay.
May I do that?
Yep.
I move that the Board of Education ratify as a tentative agreement between the Nashua Board of Education and the Nashua Teachers Union all items tentatively agreed upon through mediation, and as part of this approval, acknowledges there would be no changes to the current contract language in Appendix 1. Upon passage of this motion, Attorney Clausen is directed to finalize the tentative agreement language with the NTU as soon as possible and bring the final tentative agreement to both governing bodies for approval.
I didn't get all of that. Can I,
I have hard copies. Can I?
yes, could I have a hard copy, please?
I only have 9. Sorry.
I'll read along.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Smart. Well, I think that we can't have little muttering, I don't think, so.
I'll make mine big muttering. Is this legal? I've never, in my 14 years, it may be, but in my 14 years, I certainly haven't seen this kind of thing happen.
I don't know the policy or procedure in regards to superseding the negotiating team and going into fact-finding. I think we all would like to see this contract approved sooner rather than later. However, I'm just hesitant about where we are in the process, if we're jumping through any legal gates that are not appropriate. Are there any of you over there who could speak to this?
I move that we have this discussion in non-public under RSA 91A32E, which is regarding consideration or negotiation of any kind of
I second.
negotiations.
Okay. Okay. All those in favor of going into non-public
For the purposes of this discussion,
for the purposes of this discussion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are going into non-public at 7:05 PM. So I would be looking for a motion to seal the minutes under RSA 91A2E,
So moved.
A3E.
So moved.
So moved, Ms. Johnson
Second.
moves that.
Second.
Second. We have to do this by roll call vote now. Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not clerk anymore.
That's okay, I'll give you my yes.
There are worse habits to have, I guess.
It goes the other way. I have it written down. Okay. Ms. Darling,
Yes.
Mr. Claffey,
Yes.
Ms. Gilio,
Yes.
Ms. Raymond's a yes. Ms. Lampier,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Ziem,
Yes.
and now Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
okay, and Ms. Bishop.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had an interesting motion presented to us. Mr. Claffey, would you like to speak to it?
No,
Are you removing your motion?
I did.
No, you have to do it in public.
I removed my motion.
Okay. Okay. This brings us up to the second public comment. I'm sure we all remember the ongoing rules about, being polite, not talking over each other, no spontaneous utterances, no clapping, cheering, booing, neighing. Please stick to 3 minutes. I recognize that we probably have a very long second public comment period. I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We'll just round that up to 20. At 3 minutes apiece, we will be here for an extra hour if everybody sticks to the 3-minute piece. At 15 minutes, I'll be looking for a motion to extend. If at any point we feel that we've not, I don't want to say heard enough, but at any point, anybody on the board cannot make that motion to continue on. So I highly suggest sticking to the 3 minutes to not participate in audience noise, cheering, whatever you want to do. We'll probably get your time extended more. We're here to listen. We understand that you guys have a lot to say. We know what you're going to be talking about. We're here to listen, but please respect the rules so that we can give our undivided attention to you. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm seeing nodding. So the first person I have for the second public comment is Morgan Boulay from Charlotte Ave. And I'll have a timer going so that I don't have to be like, hey, hey, hey. So if the timer goes off and I make some sort of motion like this, it's in case you didn't hear it. So it's not meant to be rude, it's just to keep us on track. Is that okay with everybody? Okay. Thank you. Ms. Boulay.
All right. Hi, my name is Morgan Boulay.
Turn the mic on.
And, yep, just move it towards your mouth.
Better?
No.
No?
You just need to speak up.
Am I good now?
Yes.
Okay, good. My name is Morgan Boulay. I grew up in the Nashville School District, and now I'm teaching here. It's only my second year, and teaching has been a dream of mine since a Nashville School District teacher inspired me when I was in a second grade classroom. We have great teachers here. This passion only continued to be reinforced as I moved through the Nashua School District at Bicentennial and then Fairgrounds and then Nashua South with highly motivated educators who cared to make a difference in my life. I would have never known that the very teachers I idolized were underappreciated and overworked because they never let me or my peers see it. They were amazing and they were resilient. As previously mentioned, now I'm a teacher myself, but I want to talk about what attracted me to the Nashville School District because I know that's been a big talking point on negotiations as of late. So what attracted me to the Nashville School District was those teachers that inspired me. They took time to get to know me as a learner and as a human, and what attracted me here was those same teachers who are now veteran teachers in the district. I can appreciate that the negotiations team wants to attract and retain young educators. But in all honesty, it was the teachers. It was not the raise, the money, none of that. What is not attractive about working in the Nashua School District is how undervalued the veteran teachers are. Sure, you can pay me more than I'm currently making, and I'll gladly accept it, but please be aware that what is more telling to me is the way that you're treating my veteran colleagues. One day, I won't be a new teacher, and you're outrightly showing me that my value as an educator will decrease as my time in the Nashua School District increases. This feels like an insult to my intelligence, as if instant gratification is all I need. I'm a grown adult looking for longevity, and it's clear to me that NSD might not be the place for that, not only in the treatment of my coworkers, but also in the efforts to dismantle a union that they have worked hard to make strong and powerful to ensure themselves and future teachers have that support that we all deserve. If you value us, you should show us in a way that exceeds monetary means and rather makes us feel supported in a job that is incredibly hard to do, normally, never mind in a pandemic. Not currently made easier by the war on teachers that this divided board and negotiation teams continues to enable on pages like the Nashua Scoop. You don't show this young teacher that you value me by canceling school, citing only staff absences when I was missing a third of my class on Thursday. You don't show this young teacher that you value me by pushing back on a union that is designed to support me and my colleagues. And lastly, you certainly don't show this young teacher that you value me by posting petty patch articles, trying to paint my veteran colleagues as enemies who view me as less deserving when they are nothing but. Those are my role models. If you want to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk.
Thank you, Ms. Boulay. Thank you. Next up is Joyce Simeone. Am I ever going to get that right?
You are, Simeone.
I did get it right?
Yes, you did.
Nice. Okay.
Good evening, Joyce Simeone. I am a 7th grade literacy teacher at Pennachuck Middle. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. McKinney, Mr. Parker, members of the board, and most of all, my esteemed colleagues. My thanks to the hundreds of Nashua teachers who braved the cold this evening and stood with us. And I'm here this evening to speak to you about teacher retention. It is of the utmost importance that we shine a light on this critical issue. If you were to ask my 2 adult children, each of whom was educated entirely in the Nashua School District, who to name their most influential, most memorable teachers, without a moment's hesitation, they would list Barbara Oleksack, Kathy Potvin, Louise Dubois, Karen Gelino, Maura Connolly Harrigan, Mike Mahoney, Jane Wing, Allison Martinez. Some of them are still teaching. The others have retired from the Nashua School District. In addition to their expertise, love of the craft, and dedication to educating the next generation, each of these teachers has spent the majority of their teaching years in Nashua. And if they haven't already retired from NSD, they will. Does this remain the norm? Certainly some like me, who are as old as Methuselah, will retire from Nashua. But how about the new, untenured teachers? Will they stay? How many of the teachers assembled here will stay until they retire? Were we to poll the new or near or recently tenured teachers in the district, how many would stay? I'd venture to say that in the current climate, many are planning their exit strategies already. Many of us have known for years that the salary packages in other communities were higher and thought seriously about moving on, but under careful scrutiny, we've stayed. We've stayed because we have been so well represented, and our interests have been so protected by the NTU. Remember that all 4 units of professionals in each school, secretaries, food service, paraprofessionals, and teachers, are led by the NTU president. Every adult who impacts the life of a student in a Nashua school is led and protected by the president of the NTU. We must not forget that in the early weeks and months of this pandemic, our NTU president and board of directors oversaw the passing of memoranda of understanding that were put in place to protect all 4 units of the union, to protect the health and safety of everyone, as well as all of our constituents. No districts around here have such a strong union. If the gifted professionals who are here don't stay, what do we do? Many of us have sat,
Do you think you need like 10 more seconds?
a little bit, yes. Many of us have sat on interview committees trying to fill positions vacated by retirees. There are no candidates. There are no swings waiting in the wings. There are no substitutes. Many of the schools in this district, like Pennachuck, have unfilled vacancies from last summer. Our principal has worked tirelessly to fill these positions to no avail. There has been no steady hand at the wheel in central office since Superintendent Giuliano. And since Superintendent Giuliano, we've had 6 superintendents. In that time, we have had only 3 NTU presidents. More importantly, each of those presidents was a teacher in the district during their predecessor's term. Adam Marcoux became a union rep at Charlotte Ave and learned from Bob Sherman. And hopefully Adam's successor sits among the teachers tonight. We must protect the leadership of the NTU for the sake of the people in this room. Without strong leadership of the 4 units protected by the president, we will experience a very different version of the futuristic dystopia about which Mr. Freeman spoke last month. Without the clear thinking, foresight, and continuation of leadership, it will crumble into disjointed subgroups, a dystopian anarchy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, Wendy Stowe.
I donate my time to Walt.
Jacqueline Lesser.
Members of the Nashua Teachers Union working at Nashua High School South would like to publicly support the current collective bargaining language that has been in the contract since 2008, Appendix 1, Article 12.9, relevant to the position of the NTU president. We collectively believe that a full-time union president who receives full health insurance, retirement benefits, and is guaranteed a return to their prior district position is essential to the vitality of this educational community. Currently, the NTU annually reimburses the school district for the salary and all benefits of the NTU president position. The position does not burden the taxpayers of Nashua. The language change proposed by the Nashua Board of Education intends to limit the NTU president to a position of a 2-year term, or otherwise jeopardize their retirement, discourage NTU members from considering the leadership position, and provide no financial benefit to the school district or the city of Nashua. The NTU president could be a member from one of any of our 4 bargaining units, teachers, paraeducators, secretaries, or food service, and directly impacts collective bargaining, workplace safety, the organization of charitable events and contributions, and the consistent leadership we so desperately need. All of this positively impacts staff, students, families, and the greater community. The union members of Nashua High School South firmly reject the passing of a contract language that will diminish the power of the union president or degrade the NTU members who attend to the educational needs and social and emotional well-being of our students. In solidarity, the Nashua High School South membership and the NTU Board of Representatives. If I have extra time, I donate it to Mr. Friedman if he needs it.
It looks like Arvilla Mastromariano. Did I? Mastromarino?
Arvilla.
Arvilla. It looked.
Mastro Marino. I know.
I'm not going to get that.
Chapman as my maiden name, but you know.
I love it. It's so beautiful, exotic. But I'm not going to get it. Okay, we're doing good at keeping to the 3 minutes. I appreciate it. You're up.
I wanted to speak to you in that I've taught in a district with no union representative. I've taught a science class of over 32 students, middle school students. You can imagine how much science I was able to talk about while they were talking. In our district, it started off with, they paid for our ability to become national board certified. That's a premium certification. But then it got cut, so then they let us take out a loan. Then that got cut. And what got cut next was the pay differential between a master's and a doctorate and a bachelor's degree. So the people with masters and doctorates got paid the same as a new teacher with whatever many years. They could do whatever they wanted. We could be changed assignments in the middle of the year. I had friends that left teaching because 2 jobs couldn't support their families because they had been cut. And their class sizes were huge. And the responsibilities were added to it. I love working for Nashua. I love my strong union. It means that, yes, I still work 2 jobs, but there's a full-time president that can make sure that I can teach well and that I have the things I need and that the ideas that you come up with that are very well-based and come out of your good hearts, whether we can actually implement them or not. A strong union is a benefit for Nashua. It's a benefit for your students. And I don't understand why you want to change something that's been working since 2008. Keep the union strong, because that lets us work better for you. If we don't have anything to give, how can we give to you? And if we leave, what will you have for teachers? Thank you.
Thank you. Patricia Duffett? Dufay?
How do I get that going? Oh, thank you.
Hi, Patricia Duffett, first grade teacher from Maine Dunstable. Members of the Nashua Teachers Union working at Maine Dunstable Elementary School would like to publicly support the position of the NTU president. We collectively believe that a full-time union president who receives full health insurance, retirement benefits, and is guaranteed a return to his or her teaching position is essential to the vitality of this educational community. The NTU president directly impacts collective bargaining, workplace safety, and the organizing of charitable contributions, all of which positively impact staff, students, families, and beyond. It is also our opinion that the sitting NTU president has raised his office to the highest of standards. Mr. Marcoux leads with integrity and represents the will of the membership in a way that fosters inclusion and transparency. Maine Dunstable staff do not support the passing of a contract that will diminish the power of the union president or degrade educators who attend to the teaching and social emotional well-being of students. In solidarity, this is from the Maine Dunstable membership.
Thank you. We have gone a little bit over our 15-minute mark. I would be looking for a motion to extend by another 15 minutes.
I would like to extend by another 15 minutes.
I'll
I move to
second it.
do that.
Okay. So Ms. Giglio made the motion, seconded by Ms. Johnson. All those in favor of extending public comment another 15 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We will extend this for another 15 minutes. Next up is Beth Wheeler. I'm not going to say I like your name, but it makes me sound smarter.
Beth Wheeler, 5th grade teacher at Bicentennial Elementary School. Members of the Nashua Teachers Union working at Bicentennial Elementary School would like to publicly support the position of the NTU president. We collectively believe that the continuity of leadership in all areas of our district is what fosters the strongest learning communities. The full-time position of the NTU president is an essential leadership role which contributes positively to our school community through collective bargaining, ensuring workplace safety, and organizing charitable contributions, all of which support staff, students, families, and beyond. It is also our opinion that the continued commitment of the sitting NTU president has raised the office to the highest standards. Mr. Marcoux leads with integrity and represents the will of the membership in a way that fosters inclusion and transparency. He deserves to continue in his position with full health and retirement benefits. Bicentennial teachers feel the motive for eliminating Appendix 1, Article 12.9 is an attempt to weaken our union. We do not support the passing of a contract that will diminish the accessibility of the union president or degrade the educators who attend to the education and the social emotional well-being of our students. In solidarity, Bicentennial NTU membership.
Thank you. Diane Greer.
Diana Greer from the Pennachuck Middle School. I'm running on fumes as my students seem to be running the school and running amok, and they don't give a darn about what administration says. And the days, they just keep getting harder to get up out of bed and make my way to school. I'm not a fool. I've put in over 20 applications over winter vacation. Every day I wake up and think of this breakup that I'm inevitably going to go through and ask, what are you going to do? Stir the pot and let things stew? A negotiated contract is way overdue. Our president is trying to set a precedent that you can't walk all over us, and in our president we trust. And as families and kids watch at home, what are you going to show them? What are they going to know? What is our value and what is our worth? Because this hurts.
Thank you, Ms. Greer. Dick Rafferty.
Hi, I'm Dick Rafferty. I'm a special educator at Pennachuck Middle School, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Previous to my career in education, I served on the Litchfield School Board for 6 years. So I appreciate your commitment and dedication to all the stakeholders, especially the students of Nashua. Previous to that, I served in the Postal Service for 30 years, 25 as a member of management. And unfortunately, quite often, I drank the anti-union Kool-Aid. I worked with 3 of the bigger unions in this country, and working with those officials, I often saw them as the enemy. But fortunately, later in my career, I come to realize that a well-informed, well-trained union official was a partner, made my job easier, and improved service for our customers. And I see it the same way in this situation. So I ask you, if that anti-Kool-Aid, anti-union Kool-Aid comes before you, don't be like me. Don't drink it. It leaves a very, very bitter taste. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Natalie LaFlame. Did I say that right? LaFlamme?
LaFlamme.
LaFlamme.
Rhymes with ham, Pam. Yep. As my middle school students know at Fairgrounds, first, a shout out to my veteran teachers, my fellow veteran teachers, who keep our schools running. I'm in my 36th year of teaching middle school math, and like many of my veteran peers, I'm at the top of my game now. Not 10 years ago, not 20 years ago, not 30 years ago, but with 36 years in, I am at the top of my game. I have knowledge that can only be gained through experience, and I have deep understanding of how students learn. Veteran teachers are mentors, helpers, providers of free professional development, and caretakers of our new colleagues, our new administrators, and our students, all of which makes me and my fellow veteran teachers worth every penny of our pay at the top of the salary schedule. Secondly, I'm here to express my frustration that we still do not have a contract. I've been in the Nashua School District for 15 years, and every single time it is time to negotiate a new contract, it is contentious, and we end up here. Coming into this negotiations phase, I was naive, apparently. I thought that with the booming economy, with the modest demands that the teachers were making, and that the way our teachers have served our students of Nashua these past difficult years, I thought for sure this would be a slam dunk negotiation time and that we would have a contract with very little issue. It is demoralizing to be here in front of you again when all of the conditions are right for a good and fair contract. And we're here quibbling about a union president that should be part of our contract that we gave up things for in 2006 so we could have that language, and that's what we're stuck on? That is ridiculous. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kirby Gardner.
Hi, Kirby Gardner, Meadowview Circle, mom of 3 and a daughter of a area superintendent of a public school system. He's been in the school system for 50 years. I have watched him lead with integrity and grace. And this school system is a disgrace right now. Pay your teachers. I have nothing else to say. If you want to retain families, you want people to come here and live here, pay your teachers. That is the only way for someone to come here and want to live here. You have people who don't want to work right now, who are taking care of our children every day. Yet here we are, and they're begging. I don't know what it takes. I don't know. The leadership here is a mess. I don't know what else to say about it. But I'm ready to pull my 3 kids and move out of this system, honestly. You can do so much better. So much better. Pay these teachers. Make them want to stay here. You've heard everybody talk about retention. It's huge. People will invest their time in this district if you give them what they deserve. Pandemic is extraordinary circumstances for everybody. I work from home. I taught my 2 kids last year. Thinking about going remote with 3 kids, don't even want to think about it. That's my other issue. Provide remote option for families who want remote. My kids need to be in school, and that is the bottom line for many parents in this district. Working families, 2 parents out of the home every day. I'm fortunate, and I know that, but a lot of people aren't. So you need to give more options here. Pay your teachers, make them stay, give families an option for remote. You're closing the doors on everybody. And you're making it impossible for people to want to bring their families here to Nashua to live, to raise their children for years and years and years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gardner. We're moving along quickly, so I had the next 15-minute mark up now, but I think we have probably one more to go. Linda Mangello Walsh, come on down.
Hi, I'm Linda Manganello Walsh, and I'm reading a statement on behalf of Pennachuck Middle School teachers. The members of the Nashua Teachers Union at Pennachuck Middle School believe that a strong teachers union has been essential for maintaining a high level of educational quality for the students of Nashua. In one contract negotiation after another, it is the union, not the school district, that has advocated for smaller class sizes, adequate planning time so that teachers are able to craft and deliver meaningful lessons, as well as provide useful assessment and feedback to students. Health and safety of both students and staff. Professional development for teachers so that teachers can stay abreast of district initiatives and national developments in education. Competitive salaries and benefits so that talented teachers can be attracted to and retained by the district. There is no question that strong leadership by the teachers union has resulted in an improved education for all students in Nashua. Having a full-time president to lead the union who is knowledgeable and competent has been vital to the strength of the union and therefore to the vitality of education for all students in the Nashua School District. The current breakdown in contract negotiations between Nashua Teachers Union and the Nashua School District hinges strictly around language designed to weaken the union presidency and therefore the teachers union itself. We affirm our support for the current union president, for the Nashua School, for the current union president. I forgot my glasses. the current union leadership and for the future union presidents and leadership by insisting that the Nashua School Board accept our current contract proposal with the language as currently exists in Appendix I. We are in accord with the other teachers union members from other schools in the district who do not support the passing of a contract that will diminish the power of the union president, nor degrade the educators who attend to the teaching and social emotional well-being of students. And this comes from the teachers at Pennachuck Middle School in solidarity with the rest of the Nashua District schools. Thank you.
Thank you. We've hit our second 15-minute mark. I would be looking for a motion to extend public comment another 15 minutes.
I move that we extend public comment another 15 minutes.
Ms. Sheila, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Johnson, seconds. All those in favor of extending public comment another 15 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. I'll check back in at 8:15. Oh, sorry, you guys don't know who's next. Next, Sheila Dunbar.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Dunbar. I teach 7th grade social studies at Pennachuck Middle School. I'm reading this for a colleague who did not want to come up here in fear of retaliation because they have not been in the district for 5 years or more. The quote, "In one of my previous districts, I served as the union president for a unit of under 100 teachers. And I represented only teachers, not paraprofessionals, not food service, not secretaries, not nurses, solely teachers. The job our president is asked to complete, being responsible for over 2,000 members, is a huge ask. We cannot expect them to juggle a teaching career with this role. As teachers, we are currently struggling to meet the expectations placed on us by the district, and asking for us to train a new president every 2 years is disgraceful. As a teacher, I wake up every morning and think about what I'm going to wear, not considering looking professional, but considering whether I will be breaking up a fight or helping my students climb out a window. I face students starting unfounded rumors about me. I face risking my safety to protect the students of this district. I face risking my teaching credentials to protect the students of our district because I, like so many others, am not trained in restraints by the district. How can you ask us to face these nightmares every day without the legal protection afforded to us by the strength of our union? Placing a term limit of 2 years on our president shows the teachers of the district how little you truly value us, our careers, and the safety of our students. Thank you. And speaking for myself, I find it, as a union member for over 35 years, I find it disgraceful with these union-busting tactics and the district putting out items that were not factual, sending them to sending them to parents through the district. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that I just lost it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Dunbar. Crystal King.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I live Fairmont Street here in Nashua. So 2 things. I have, for those of you that you don't know, hi, welcome new members of the board. Glad that you guys could make this disaster, what we call a dumpster fire here in Nashua. To the teachers, thank you guys for all coming out. I know some of you personally, and that's really great, and some of you are teaching my children. My kids, as all the kids in Nashua today, didn't have school today or tomorrow. And I just find it very slightly ironic that there are 200 staff member call-outs for 2 days, 2 days before an early release day. So that kind of, not sitting well and jiving well with me. Pay your teachers. It's not that hard. It really isn't. None of us would be here today if it wasn't for teachers. Some of you guys that are on the board have been part of the Nashua School District for a long time. Some of you are former teachers. Some of you have kids that have grown up in the Nashua school system. How would you feel if you are a parent having to sit at home with your children when they should be in school learning, right? You wouldn't be very happy. You would be here. You would be in my shoes, you know? And like, I gotta say real fast, there were a couple of teachers, I think one of the new teachers, she was talking. We have board members falling asleep. Yeah, we do. We do. You can shake your head no all you want. Yeah, we do. Dr. McKinney was sitting there like rolling his eyes. Like, guys, listen to these people. They're showing up in mass quantities. Do it. Just do it. Get it done with. You know, and then we wouldn't have to sit here and be mad. They wouldn't have to sit here and be mad, right? Or wanting to leave. You have a new teacher who's been teaching for 2 years in elementary school. 2 years. I'm not a teacher because I don't want that responsibility, you know? And she's ready to leave. She wants to leave. Get it together.
Thank you, Ms. King. Alicia Houston.
Alicia Houston, Westwood Drive. I wanted to speak today as a parent of 2 children in the Nashua School District. One of my children has a 504, and part of his 504 has to do with anxiety, severe anxiety. Doesn't do well with transitions, doesn't do well with quick changes. So if you can imagine from 2020 to now, the amount of inconsistencies that my family has faced as a result of all of these transitions. I have a child who used to be an extrovert who is now extremely introverted. I have a child who used to love learning and now hates learning, hates it. Reading books is something that he used to find very, very exciting, and now he won't even pick up a book. What this whole pandemic has done to the teachers, to us as parents, to the children, I keep hearing a lot of different mentions of how this impacts the teachers and how this impacts, and he said, she said, and all of these things. But again, we're still having conversations that do not involve the best interest of our children. Because without children in the district, there are no jobs. Without children in the district, there is no board. It doesn't exist. And the whole purpose of the public education system is to educate the public, which includes the students. So this may be unpopular opinion, and I have a lot of respect for the educators that I've dealt with my children. I have, you know, other opinions about others that I may have not had interactions with directly as a parent teacher in that relationship. But I'm really hoping that the common theme and the understanding and the optics of what this whole situation looks like for the closures, whether it's sick related or not, the optics look very bad. From a parent perspective, the optics look like a contract didn't get negotiated. One thing, one item, they've spoke about it a bunch of different times, and who suffers? The kids. So what does it look like when all of a sudden you have hundreds of teachers calling out? Right after that, I can understand coincidences, but I don't usually believe in them because it doesn't look good. And I wanted to close with this. I am really hoping that of all of the teachers, this is going to be the most unpopular opinion in this room. I am hoping that all of the teachers that are sitting in this room today are not teachers that called out sick, because that would be a travesty for the children.
Thank you, Ms. Houston. I want to thank everybody for being good. 5 more minutes.
Did I mention that the mask was not appropriate for Ms. Houston, as it was not a multiple layers?
Maybe I can chat with her after. Okay? Thank you. Walt Freeman?
Walt Freeman, 4 Pasadena Avenue. I did not call out sick. Been teaching 30 years. Would like to teach another 30. It's getting hard. But I'm going to beat that clock, so I'm not going to need all the time that folks kindly ceded to me.
I was just writing down you have an extra 4 minutes. I've been keeping track.
But despite the misinformation that certain members of the Board of Education are trying to sell to the residents of Nashua. It's neither money nor benefits nor any other item in the proposed teacher's contract that is the sticking point. We've tentatively agreed to or compromised on every point but one. The only point we firmly reject is the attempt to weaken our union by financially limiting the term of the NTU president. Their proposal would limit the president's financial viability after 2 years, effectively making the position non-sustainable for long-term employment. This lack of positional sustainability would devastate the teachers' union. It's important to note this proposed change doesn't benefit or cost the city in any way that is different than the existing language. The only thing it does is weaken the union's abilities to sustain a consistent and viable presidency. And given the structure of the Teachers' Day and the size of the union, this cannot be accomplished as other unions do with a limited presidency. I'd like to finish by quoting an aware Nashua parent who said, quote, "Parents and school staff know that what's best for students is to reach an agreement. With zero cost, if they can't say how their holdout item benefits students, then there's only one reason that makes sense: power." Thank you.
Stephanie Keating-Baird. I'm a teacher at Fairgrounds Middle School and on the executive board of the union. So let me repeat. The language to weaken the union is the only sticking point. However, this is not simply an attack on the teachers' union. As we are the state's largest public employee, this opens the path for coming attacks on every public employee, bargaining unit, and by extension, an attack on the city itself by weakening the services these vital people provide. If the NTU falls, the other unions will fall like dominoes, and the weakening of the working middle class in Nashua will be disastrous. Who is targeted next? The police, the firefighters, paraprofessionals and food service workers, essential people providing essential services to all. This attack is a very public example of why middle-class workers need unions in the first place, to protect them from those who would, for their own purposes, seek their destruction. It's an unacceptable point, and we will fight this to our last member.
Thank you, Ms. Keating-Baird. Did I say that right? Awesome. Sean Malone.
Hello. I think it is the responsibility of every resident of Nashua to ask stakeholders in this some very important questions. To the BOE, ask why, after educators have recently been heroically keeping education alive far above and beyond their contracts during this pandemic crisis, are they attempting to strike at the very protections they deserve? Ask every other union worker in the city, how will you survive when they come for you next after destroying the largest bargaining unit in the state? Ask the public, how much will you lose versus how much will these BOE members think that they will gain at the end of the day? What sacrifice are you willing to lay at the altar of their ideology? The educators of Nashua are reminded daily that we cannot give enough to this city. We give and we give and we give, and it is never enough. It is equally clear that the city will not give enough to us in return, regardless of our generosity, hard work, ingenuity, and sacrifice. It is the single unacceptable point, and we will fight this to our last member.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney. Mabel Brown.
Good, you got my last name right. In conclusion, this bargaining point may be disingenuously presented or dismissed by these BOE members as inconsequential, but it is everything to us. And they know that, which is why they are trying to disguise it by claiming we are rejecting a salary increase, but we are not. Ironically, it is nothing to taxpayers. It will not change the city financially in any additional way. This is old-fashioned union busting, either by ignorance or intent. And this aggression will not stand. What follows if this is not resolved will have consequences that will be on their shoulders. To be perfectly clear, it's not the money. It's not the benefits. It's not everything we have already let go or compromised upon. It is this single, unacceptable point, and we will fight this to our last member.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. And you guys cut us in under 15 minutes earlier than I was expecting. So thank you guys. I appreciate, it's hard to lay down the rules with everybody, but I appreciate you guys helping me out. And this made me look really good, huh? But thank you. That is the end of public comment. This brings us up to board member comments. Do we need a 5-minute recess? No, this is the last thing. No, I know, but they typically leave after they're done talking, so I figured if they wanted to head out. Okay, you're all staying? No. Okay, so we'll continue on with board member comments. We're going to shuffle around the horseshoe. Sorry, Ms. Darling. We'll figure out a different plan so you're not in the firing range all the time. Ms. Darling, board member comments?
I just want to thank every teacher that came out tonight. I am an avid supporter of First Amendment rights, and it's always nice when I see people protesting appropriately for what they believe in. And I want to thank everyone for the bravery in standing up and saying what they believe. It's really important. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Darling. Mr. Claffey?
I concur with my new colleague, and I definitely heard what you had to say tonight. Thank you for coming.
Ms. Giglio?
I thank each and every one of you. I listened to all of what you said. I took it to heart, and it means a lot to me that you all showed up tonight and stood outside in the cold when you didn't have to do this. It means a lot to me that you go to school every day and teach our children, and you are deeply appreciated, at least by me. Thank you.
Ms. Raymond?
Okay, thank you. I want to echo my colleagues and thanking everybody for coming out tonight, and also for making all of your comments. And I think everybody knows I'm a note taker, so I appreciate that. I have a couple of other items that I wanted to touch on this evening. If everyone can indulge me, I'll be quick. First of all, I just want to say again publicly that I don't believe that the staff call-outs have any type of intent behind them. And I hope that people out there listening hear that from me. I don't think that I just don't think they are. I think that COVID is hitting us really hard right now, and that an unfortunately humongous number of our staff and students are ill or caring for someone who is ill. And that makes our preventative efforts all the more important. It's important to wear proper masks. It's important to be washing our hands. It's important not to be opening our masks when we're talking. And I really implore people to get vaccinated if you aren't already. Only half of our population is vaccinated, and I honestly believe that this is why Omicron is spreading and making everyone sick. And just to the parents out there, the result of this is that if we don't have enough staff, then we can't deliver education properly or safely. I mean, how do you teach kids when you have a bunch in an auditorium because their teachers are ill or caring for someone who's ill? We can't ask somebody who's ill to teach remotely. That's not reasonable. So I'm really asking people that when you're not in school, that you continue to wear your masks, that you don't have gatherings, and that we take this seriously so that people can get well and get back into the classroom where we all want them to be. On the closures, 68 Hours of Hunger has meals at the library for anyone who needs them. And then back to school safety, I'm imploring parents and guardians and adults of children to sit down and talk with your kids about their behavior at school. Our teachers have put in 4 months now of disrespectful behavior, and it's not all the students, but we know that kids developmentally are impulsive and that they will follow the crowd. So it doesn't take very many students acting out for it to kind of ripple and spread like the wave at a football game. We need our parents to be talking to their students and telling them that this kind of behavior is not acceptable. We can't be having vandalism at schools and fighting at schools and students videotaping that stuff and sharing it around and glorifying it. That's not what our teachers signed up to do, and it's interfering with their ability to deliver the education that our kids need. So just a little call out for people. I don't know what the answer is, but my kids know that if they behave in this stuff at school and I hear about it, they're grounded at home. Phones are their privilege, and if they're doing stuff on their phones at school they're not supposed to, they're going to lose them. And I just implore other parents to sit down and have those conversations with their kids' friends, parents, to figure out if there's a way that our community can come together and help our school staff not have to deal with this on top of everything else. So that's it. Oh, and go to the library tomorrow if you need something to do.
Thank you. Ms. Lampier?
So first, I just want to say what a great honor it is to be here on the Board of Education. I hope that everyone that voted for me, everyone in the audience, and everyone watching at home knows that I will do my very best to represent your needs and desires. I also want to say that I am a union member, a postal worker. So it was nice to hear one of our teachers also say that he was formerly a postal worker. I have a great deal of respect for teachers and for unions, and just want to thank you for allowing me to be here. Have a good night.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
Thanks. I just want to welcome all of our new board members. I'm really glad that you're here and looking forward to working with you all. And the new student members, I'm glad I'm starting to get to know you guys a little bit. I'm glad to have you here. And I want to offer congratulations one more time to Ms. Scalera, because with her Teacher of the Month award. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Ms. Seam?
It disappoints me. Excuse me. I don't want my southern drawl to get strangled up in this device. It disappoints me that you would think that we are union busting. That would never be my intention. Never. Not in 100 years. I have no reason to. Why would I do that? I have no reason to do that. So I ask you only that we are trying to negotiate in faith, and I ask you, that in all negotiation, you never agree on everything. But I thought that we have tried, and so I believe you have tried, and I ask you to give us the same courtesy. We tried as well, and we're still trying, and I hope this will resolve itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I do apologize for December. I wasn't around very much. I was pretty sick, and the last meeting I was on December 20th, which was my son's 39th birthday. I can't believe I have a son 39, and met a lot of teachers that I've known who taught my kids in school. So this is really my first adventure out to be at the meeting tonight. And I'm listening very carefully to everything that everybody's saying, and that's what my job is. And I thank you for coming out in the cold weather. I'd like to welcome the new board members. I look forward to working with all of you. Our student member, good luck, Ms. Bishop, in that big chair of yours. It's still going to be rocky for a while, but we're going to have to work through this. And that's what we're here for. We have new members, and we'll see which way we're going. But you have to give us a chance now. I wasn't on the negotiating team. I'm just hearing about a lot of stuff right now. And again, I do apologize because the month of December, I basically stayed in bed and in a chair, and that's what my whole time was. And I keep apologizing because that's not me. I'm one of these people that's on the go all the time, and when I'm flat out like that, you know I'm sick. But I did listen to everything that everybody said, and thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. I will just wrap up my comments thanking this board for entrusting me with this very heavy duty of being president. I hope I do you guys well. I hope I run these meetings efficiently, and I hope everybody feels heard. Just to go back to the mask piece that we spoke about earlier, if you are an audience member and you do need accommodations in regards to not wearing a mask because you have a religious exemption or a medical exemption, please email me so that we can come up with accommodations for you. There's no need to risk other people and yourself by coming out. Email me. Maybe there's a way that we can figure out how to get your voice heard by calling in or submitting a written comment. But please reach out to me. We'll come up with something that's ADA appropriate. Again, welcome to the new members, welcome to the new student reps, and welcome 2022. I feel like we were just saying that about 2021, the year of vision, which got very foggy, didn't it? But thank you. I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Ms. Gilio?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Brown. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned at 8:26.